This is a certified hood classic.
Hide your cupcakes, hide your kids, and hide your butt. But EDP is back out and he's on the prowl. Looking to scowl, boy. I'm finna get on your shit, boy. Baked potato with an indecent face, bitch. You look ugly as shit. Look, today, man, we get ready to watch the rise and fall of EDP.
Words cannot describe how surprised the YouTube community felt when we all saw a brand new channel by the name of Big Cheese pop up on our homepages with a thumbnail of a very familiar face and with the title, Here We Go. Any veteran of the YouTube platform will recognize this face as the infamous EDP445, who has now returned to YouTube once again.
What does that stand for? What does the EDP stand for,
to try and recover the empire he once lost when it was banned off the site just 3 years ago. He was banned for reasons that we'll discuss in this video, but after seeing this new channel, everyone all thought the same thing.
Oh shit, here we go again.
He couldn't learn the first time, and now he's back again to cause more mayhem that we have yet to see. As of making this video, he has gone from 3 to 13 videos on this new channel. Yes, it took an embarrassingly long time to make this video. And it's just his usual content of talking explicitly about sports, food, and saying more F-bomb slurs in 10 minutes than what Deadpool can do in an entire trilogy of movies. But this new channel of his left me asking a question that inspired me to make this video in the first place. And one that I think we can have answered by the end of this video. Is it?
The fact that people just like watching him is like, I mean, I could see the, you know, checking it out and just like, all right, what's going on? But niggas is really watching him, bro. They really want to see what the hell he got to say. And keep going. They keep going. I'm like, I can't do that.
Possible to forgive a child predator and give him a second chance here on YouTube? Fair warning for viewers, this video is going to contain a lot of sensitive topics and include words that your mommy will probably beat you with a wooden spoon if she so much as catches a whiff of hearing. So you have been warned. Viewer discretion is advised.
Is that bad? You gotta put that?
After having to watch tons of hours of EDP content, I am considering buying a therapist, and YouTube doesn't quite pay me enough to afford one yet.
Daniel! You will accuse eat that pussy 445.
Okay, so who exactly is this guy, and why are people
eat that pussy 445? Is that his name?
So scared of him? Well, if you haven't been too cultured in the YouTube space over the last decade or so, you probably would not have heard of this guy until recently. So let's go over his backstory and let's get to why he needs to be deported off the face of the earth. Bryant turned Emerson Moreland, try saying that 5 times fast, was born on
You could tell that nigga a freak, bro. Like, you looked at that nigga, you could tell he a weirdo, bro.
December 15th, 1990 in Los Angeles, California. Growing up, Bryant was always fond of sports and most importantly, football. His love for the game became quite a huge part of his content, which is a relief because if it weren't for that, he would just be talking about things that aren't necessarily appropriate. As most football fans tend to latch onto one team to root for, Bryant locked onto the Philadelphia Eagles team. I'm saying he loved this team so much that it became a main staple of what he was known for, even to the point that people on other social platforms were using him as an example of a crazed superfan. But surprisingly, he didn't go on to be in the sports business himself. He just shared his love for the game on his YouTube channel, which he first made just over 14 years ago on June 13th, 2010.
Oh, nigga, not that close to my damn birthday. He's a freak, boy.
Uploaded his first video the same day, which was of him doing a random
15! He's a freak!
Freestyle rap, but it wasn't long before he started to post videos solely based on his beloved Eagles team. And while he mainly talked about the Eagles, Bryant also expanded his content into other areas such as miscellaneous rants, vlogs, and Q&As. He did have more than just that on his channel, but those were the types of videos that performed the best, so we'll just keep the list short for the sake of the video. For the next couple of years, Bryant would go on to post quite frequently on his channel, and despite his excessive use of foul language, he got a lot of attention and was quite appreciated within his growing audience. Since his main channel was doing so well, he decided to see if he could replicate that same success on more channels, and thus the EDP empire started to form. Bryant created channels like Chaotic Kitchen 445, EDP Gaming 1, EDP_445, and Stalcy. As much as that may seem nowadays, content for Bryant back then was incredibly easy to make, since it was just him basically talking to the camera the entire time, just with different topics. As his channel grew, so did his exposure on the internet. More and more people were finding his content, and a lot of people found him hilarious to watch. While the topics in the videos may not have been super
I mean, he's just like, you know, what real YouTubers was back in the day, man. You know, they was talking to a camera. It wasn't no crazy ass editing. If you did meet somebody I said meet, but like if you did see somebody and they gave you a cupcake, I mean, they had actually good editing. You know, excuse me, my bad. If you see somebody and they actually had good editing, you really appreciated it. You really appreciated that. But for the most part, you can get away with doing vlogs where you're just walking and talking and telling people certain things and light editing. You could get away with that shit. But I mean, I'm just saying these days, it's crazy to think that, man, now YouTube has grown into this big ass media machine that like you gotta have a 20-year degree and a bachelor's in editing to do.
Interesting for everyone, Brian putting his own twist on sharing information was all it took to hook people and keep them watching. I personally never really came across his content. I only saw him in a few popular memes, so all I really thought of him was that he was just a meme guy. However, looking into his content while researching this video, it was no surprise that his original channel grew to over 2 million subscribers. People genuinely loved his content and found him to be quite a unique character. His comment section would be filled with positive messages either supporting EDP or taking the time to appreciate the content.
Imagine you like, the best YouTuber is back, we're so lucky. Y'all niggas is wild, bro. Y'all know what he do. Y'all, but you know, maybe I'm a hypocrite because you know, you kind of be a hypocrite when you start thinking about music artists and the things they might or might not have done, and you think about actors, actresses, and the things they might or might not have done, and then you got like, well, I'll give them a pass. It's like one of those things, but it's like, to me, like, you a pedophile-ish, like, even ish is too much. You know, that's crazy work, bro. I can't respect it.
He would make. But realistically, that wasn't a majority of his audience. I feel like I could go out on a limb here and say that a majority of his viewership was really only there to watch him evolve from being a regular vlogger / commentator to what we know of him as today. A very strange internet personality with no filter. While a lot of his content was very entertaining to watch for a lot of people, there were a few scattered videos throughout his time on YouTube that really started to make people question what he was really all about. The avid fan of EDP would find that every so often in Brian's career, he would talk about a lot of things that would make the average person very uncomfortable. And I'll just leave this here before I continue. This video was extremely hard to make. I seriously could not stand listening to EDP in these super uncomfortable videos that I just mentioned. And for reasons you'll hear about later in the video, I needed to take a stand on this situation, even if it's not a current issue that EDP is involved in. Children all over the world are taken advantage of for their lack of safety awareness. I'm going to be adding a charity that helps children get the safety they need. Joyful Heart Foundation is...
You know it's so damn bad where mans had to add a charity in there for kids in your video,
an organization that helps in the child abuse department to better care for the next generation. And here is where you can help. For every subscriber that I get on this video, I will donate 10 cents to this foundation. So if I get 1,000 subscribers on...
Bet. Boom, I just subscribed. Bet, fam. That's what I'm gonna say.
On this video, I will donate $100. And if you want to donate yourself, you can do so via the link in the description, or if the donate...
Oh, I know now. I got a lot of things to do, but I just subscribed to you now. I just subscribed now. You said you was gonna donate that 10 cents. I remember what you said. I just didn't. I don't may have to. We all might not be able.
Button shows up below this video.
Okay,
I'm not quite sure how that works yet, so I don't know if it'll work. And this is not a sponsor. It just feels like the right thing to do given the information that I uncovered in this video. Anyway, this next topic we'll be talking about can be extremely sensitive and potentially uncomfortable for some viewers, even me. And I would prefer not to discuss this, but it must be said to spread awareness that EDP, while he may be funny on the surface, is a disrespectful and troubled human being. So if that doesn't sit right with you, go ahead and skip to chapter 3 of this video. Alright, so with that out of the way, let's get to the elephant in the room.
If you're looking for a house, you should be looking for a mortgage.
You could mortgage in the dark.
Bryant. More specifically, Bryant and his obsession with women. I get that Bryant is sexually attracted to women. That's fine. But what sets this topic to be so over the top and disrespectful is the fact that Brian seems to have zero remorse for the way that he talks about them. He will honestly say things that will make you cringe, and for researching this video, this was an extremely hard obstacle to get through. I have never seen anyone so desensitized to talking about women in such an objectifying manner, and yet if
Bro, because they don't get that. They don't get ass. That's why. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you talk to women a certain type of way, you got to understand. Like, they not going to mess with you. You know what I'm saying? So if you talking to them a certain type of way, they ain't messing with you, then you going to still, you know, like, either you going to switch it up and start getting some pussy, or you not, and you ain't going to get no pussy. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Look, why would she get this freaky ass nigga some pussy? Like, you know what I'm saying? Just be honest with you. Be honest. Like, come on, look at this freaky ass nigga, man. Look, bro, they not going to give him no pussy. That's why he be talking about them in a certain type of way. You know what I'm saying? He don't have an understanding. Like, I don't know many guys that just do some crazy ass rants about women that actually be getting women. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like their view of women is so skewed because they don't actually know how to talk to them or know how to get them or been around them, that they be just saying all kind of crazy disrespectful shit, bro. And they tell on themselves.
if he ever encountered a woman in public, I doubt he would even be able to talk to one. I wouldn't be surprised if Bryant sees the female gender as not human and just a means for enjoyment. And honestly, I'm just shocked. Not even the fact that he doesn't seem to care. No, I'm shocked that YouTube let this slide for as long as it did. I mean, look at this. You can't tell me that this isn't wrong and that it should stay on a platform that is dominantly children audiences. Like, really? What? Nobody needed to know about this. You could have just kept this to yourself. Not this again. You do have to remember though, at this peak during Brian's career, we were still in the mid to late 2010s YouTube ecosystem. Mainstream media still pushed YouTube aside as a temporary trend that would die out at some point. So most adults that were used to consuming content the traditional way didn't even know YouTube existed. So knowing that Brian was allowed to upload this content basically in front of a bunch of children and teenagers, it really makes you question YouTube's morals at the time.
I mean, YouTube didn't give a damn. I mean, really, it's hard to even regulate stuff like that because I don't think that they wasn't bought by Google yet, so they weren't really that big of a company. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, like, you know, it's just, it is what it was. I don't blame YouTube though, man. I don't.
But keep that in mind for a little bit because we'll be getting back to that later. Despite Brian uploading this horrendous content, people still supported him and the channels, acting like everything that was being said was fine and he's funny, so it's okay, and he could just be joking. But I disagree with all of those statements. Still, the EDP empire continued to grow at a pretty consistent pace. While he wasn't gaining subscribers as fast as other channels, his community kept getting more and more involved in his content. A lot more than the usual big names on YouTube. However, while his channel was becoming as successful as it was, he wasn't quite a full-time creator yet, which would make sense since his videos were probably getting demonetized left and right. During his time of making videos, he worked as a security guard and also at Walmart for some time, but he was fired from his Walmart position and his security guard position lasted only a short while since by then his YouTube was doing well enough for him to go full-time. Unfortunately, during this time at Walmart is when we get to see the first glance of a tragic event for EDP. In 2015, Bryant lost his mother. He was absolutely heartbroken.
Well, you know, rest in peace to his mom. You know, that ain't no joke. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to make fun of that. That's a very serious situation, bro. You know, I'm not going to tell her. I ain't going to make fun of that, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's serious. That's serious as hell. You know, and maybe that could be the reason why he became such a freak, bro. Like, you know, that's not me making fun of him. I'm like, literally, that could be the reason, bro. You know, because, you know, losing somebody that close to you, I don't know. Well, he was a freak beforehand, never mind.
Since she wasn't going to be around to celebrate the big moments in his life. This was one of very few times we've seen Bryant completely vulnerable behind the camera, and to be honest, it's really sad to see. Losing a parent is never easy when the relationship is strong, and Bryant was in this boat because he claims to have gotten his sense of humor from her, which is like his whole gimmick. So you can bet that once he got the news that she was gone, it would have felt like his whole world just ripped away from him in an instant. From the way he talked about his mom, you could tell that there was still a loving human under that EDP facade. But as emotional as this can be, after seeing everything he's done, I can't give him the benefit of the doubt. And here's why. For the allegations against EDP, I've decided
Here
to
we
call
go.
in some backup.
Hey, this nigga talking about, hey, give me some dap. Give me some dap. No, bro.
Well,
no.
not call per se, more like use someone else's explanation, but then go tell you to support them so that way I can't be considered a thief. Only reason I say that is because I recently came across a YouTuber and he does this sort of thing really well. And so for this segment, we'll be using Jay Aubrey's video on EDP to give us what led to EDP's ban and partial conviction. You'll understand why I said partial later.
Summer 2020. One particular fan approached Bryant via Instagram with a pretty innocuous request that he give his girlfriend a shout out in honor of her birthday. Well, Bryant isn't about to work for free, is he? I mean, the man has dignity.
Basically, where this all starts, a guy reaches out to Bryant on social media kindly asking to shout out his girlfriend as a surprise for her birthday. But the issue starts when the guy isn't expecting to pay anything for this shout out, which Bryant explicitly disagrees with and posts a video about the situation in probably the most disrespectful way imaginable. So YouTube, I'm trusting you here with this policy you got on Google. Please don't hurt me.
So as any level-headed human being would do, he replied with,
Listen, motherfucker, if your girlfriend wants a motherfucking shout out, bro, she better fucking pull her shirt off and show me some motherfucking titties, my nigga. You know what I mean? Show me some titties, show me something. I don't give a fuck if she is fucking 14.
So hold on a second. What?
What?
Not only do you tell this guy to literally sell pictures of his girlfriend in a vulgar manner, which must have made that guy really mad, by the way, but you go and say that at the end? Brian goes on to say that it's obviously a joke and he's not really being serious, but knowing what we know now, that can't be further from the truth. This was just the first instance that got fans to sort of perk their heads up and actually start paying attention to Bryant's every word in his videos. Unfortunately, not much can be concluded from just watching his videos. A lot of what goes on now comes mainly from his Instagram account, hidden behind his DMs with these victims. And as a continual for this whole shout-out situation, Bryant drops this major hint that there's definitely something wrong with him.
Lucy, you better show me some fucking titties. I don't give a fuck. Like, talking about you want me to wish that nigga happy birthday, motherfucker. You better show me some fucking titties or something, shit. Oh my god, EDP, like, she's 14, like, she's 15, motherfucker. I don't give a fuck, nigga, if the bitch is 1, motherfucker. Like, ain't shit free in this motherfucker.
This was just absolutely unacceptable.
That nigga
Since
is
this was
wild,
all private
bro.
messaging, unless someone that was involved in the conversation spoke out about the issue, no one would have known that Brian even said this. This became a recurring problem in trying to convict Brian, since most of the public info we had were mostly from just his side of the story through a very unapologetic series of videos.
Do you honestly think that through all the bullshit I've been through, you know what I mean, me losing my moms and finally being able to move out, my fucking YouTube channel is growing at rapid fucking rates, you know what I mean, I have great, beautiful, loving, caring goddamn friends. I have 2 fucking goddaughters who are some of the most adorable
God, bro, get them away! Get them away, bitch!
ever, you know what I mean? Spoil their ass rotten. I just dropped 60 fucking grand up on a fucking car. Do you honestly think that I would sit back and throw away my life for some fucking punk ass bitch?
Yes, Bryant, we do. Why would you be making this video if people didn't believe you would do those things? Anyway, even after this video was released, somehow fans still didn't think there was enough proof to convict their favorite toilet bowl destroyer. So it seemed as though EDP wouldn't face any consequences and everything would return back to the way it was, right? Well, on July 10th, 2020, a video was uploaded to a channel named Cold Raven with the title EDP445 Accusations Evidence. Although this is actually a re-upload of the original, it's the same context as the first. And I think you know where I'm going with this. In the video, Cold Raven shows evidence he dug up of EDP contradicting himself against a few claims. He called Brian out for throwing around terrible defense statements that did nothing to prove his innocence. As yet another video shows up on EDP's channel defending himself, all Brian does is just dig a deeper and deeper hole for himself.
If you honestly believe that I'm a motherfucking pedophile,
he couldn't even say shit to her. Look at him. If you believe that I'm a pedophile, well, I didn't think too far into this. Damn, look at this. He's a freak, bro. He's a freak.
And as time goes on, Bryant is messaging underage women left and right and literally not holding back his intrusive thoughts. I bet that he thought that since these were children he was talking to, they probably wouldn't have the maturity to speak up about the situation to get him in trouble. Thankfully, he was wrong. A series of victims spoke out to several sources that could influence higher authorities to look into EDP. But that didn't quite work out. In comes a channel called the Predator Poachers. This group of douches were basically a Chris Hansen wannabe gang that believed in
that bitch, she told us, bro, get the fuck out of here.
Conviction of .pdf files in the most unhelpful way possible. I'm not sure if any of you watching are as chronically online as I am, but people like these Predator Poachers have been popping up like crazy over the last 2 years or so. These Chris Hansen rejects would track down a predator, whip out their phones, and proceed to publicly humiliate them, and if the predator tried to leave the scene, these people would start harassing and actually beating these predators up.
Damn.
No, I'm all for justice. I think it's a great system.
I mean, look. I get it. I mean, bro, you was attempting to touch a child, bro. It's tempting to take the innocence away from a child. A child, bro. A little baby. 14, 15, 16 is not an excuse, bro. Attempting to do that. And the least of your worries is an ass whooping. That's the least of your worries.
In the court of law,
jail,
doing this sort of act is downright assault, and even if the person was trying to...
This man was trying to beat a 13-year-old boy for sex.
This is no way to treat the situation.
So,
law enforcement is the only team of professionals that are supposed to handle...
Bro, when they get to jail, it's gonna be worse than
these
that,
situations.
Bro.
Not some 30-year-old trying to get internet clout and tricking people into thinking they're a hero. They're not. But back to these predator poachers on YouTube. Their whole mission was to catch these predators and film the entire thing for content on their channel. Allegedly, they managed to track down hundreds of these felons since their inception. But here's why the predator poachers were not the right guys to take on EDP. This channel was run by a man named Alex Rosen. Alex is a very strange individual and may possibly be a predator himself.
Okay, 18, I think there's hot 18-year-olds. I wouldn't do anything with a 17-year-old, but there's hot 17-year-olds. But I don't go, yeah, when I see a 17-year-old, I'm just like, I can't do it. Like, it's just not right. But
he's known for being the main showman on this channel and conducting these interrogations when they actually catch a predator. If his name sounds familiar to you, which it probably doesn't, but if you're one of very few who recognize his name, it's been said on the news a few times over the last couple of years, and not for good reasons.
What?
Recently, Alex has allegedly been detained for talking one of his caught predators into so much guilt that the predator offed himself. Again, I'm all for the justice system for these crooks, but this is just unacceptable. I found a few articles talking about the situation, and police were called to the scene shortly before the incident, but even from the get-go, I think this whole thing could have been handled better. Since these poachers want good views, they typically don't call in the police to interrogate and arrest the suspect until they've done their own interrogation privately.
Yeah, but it's like, they don't, the people don't have to stay. They try to run and get away. They get an ass whooping. It is what it is, bro. They were attempting to meet a child and kidnap them. These are how a lot of kids get sold into, you know, a trade, bro. You know, the R word, you know what I'm saying? Like, you talking about taking years and years and years and years somebody's life away. And, you know, I couldn't imagine one of my children going through that. I couldn't imagine me going through that. I couldn't imagine the neighbors' children going through. I just couldn't imagine any children having to deal with something like that. And then, you know, to feel sorry for somebody who is getting interrogated and he offed himself. It's like, bro, it's one less freak in the world, bro. I know that sounds harsh, bro. I'm not supporting any of, you know, like doing that and shit like that. I definitely would try to stop somebody from doing that, you know, depending on who it is and what the situation is. I know I'm a horrible person, but I would definitely, for the majority of time, try to stop and try to prevent somebody from doing that. But somebody in this world, like if you see Hitler and he's getting ready to do a little something to himself, and you look at the things that he's done in life, and you look at the people's lives that he's infected, and the mass amount of negativity that he's put out in the world, you just ain't running to go make that stop. You just ain't running to just give that extra speech, that extra word. You might delay yourself. You might. And I wouldn't think of you less of a person for it, is all I'm saying. These predators, they need to be dealt with in a civilized way, but you have to remember the world is very uncivilized as much as we want to say it is. As much as we want to say the world is filled with all these laws, you got to remember a red light is nothing but a light, a beam of light hanging in the sky. The only thing that gives it any validity is the law enforcement that backs it, that most likely would never be on the scene at the time, or the people who understand that a red light means stop, and they actually stop their motor vehicle from moving forward at a line designated the stopping point. But besides that, a vehicle can run straight through a light because it's nothing but an idea. So what I'm saying is these predators and everything, that this world being so great and everything is nothing but an idea. It's the good men and women in this world that give these ideas validity. Is the good men and women in this world that give these ideas meaning. And the bad ones, they take the system for granted and they fuck it up for everybody. And I don't feel sorry for any of these predators. Mainly when they get caught and they might get their ass whooped. Physically harming them, torturing them, all this extra stuff, that's debatable. Depends on what it is, but I'm just being honest with you.
The right thing to do is always get the police involved from the beginning because they are trained on this sort of thing. Regardless, crap hit the fan anyway. But this wasn't even the first situation the poachers have been in that ended up going south. And the best example is the very subject of this video. So let's start to break it down.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Is my wife over?
Yes, nigga.
It is, Bryant. So looking through several clips of this original interrogation that has since been obliterated from the YouTube platform to where even re-uploads of this video can no longer be found, we can conclude that Bryant knew that there was no denying the evidence and admitting to everything that was accused of him.
That nigga said, is my life over? Yes, nigga, yes.
He tried to leave the encounter, but police were called shortly after. Bryant was taken into custody and then released. What? What happened? Well, legally, convicting Bryant was a bit of a challenge. And here's why law enforcement needs to be involved every step of the way. Here, we'll be looking into an interview done by the Law and Crime Network channel that featured none other than Chris Hansen himself. In this particular interview, they discussed the current EDP situation as it was unfolding. And here, I believe Chris made an excellent response to why Bryant had not been legally charged yet.
Do you know why he hasn't been charged yet?
I do not. I know that there was an open investigation. They were looking at it. I can tell you, Sam, that
he didn't do it. I mean, on paper, he didn't do anything. I mean, he was going to meet, quote, quote, but I guess on paper, he didn't technically do anything to be charged, bro. But
generally speaking, in the law enforcement community, there is difficulty prosecuting some of these vigilante cases. And I'm not saying the work that Alex Rosen and Predator Poachers did was shoddy in any way. I'm not being critical of them, but they tend to do these cases and put them on their own social media platforms, and they get attention. And I think some of this is well-intentioned, that they're trying to out people who are trying to harm children. But because there's no collaboration with law enforcement on the front end, it becomes very difficult to prosecute these cases on the back end. So you have a lack of social justice, and the rap on some of these groups, and I'm not putting Alex in that category, is that they're doing this for clicks and
I mean, but you were too. You know what I'm saying? Y'all made a show about it. Y'all could have just got these people and locked them up, but y'all made a show about it.
So, like I mentioned before, professional law enforcement is crucial to helping these cases be worth anything. However, with these allegations coming to light,
I'm gonna call you Chris Handsome. That nigga, hey, that's wild, bro. I like you, and I want you. Now, we could do this the easy way, or we could do it the hard.
YouTube finally took the initiative to officially take down EDP's content off their platform and indefinitely banned his channels. YouTube took a rare W with this case, and I'm glad they did because that showed that EDP was truly guilty and his actions were unacceptable. But this all happened back in 2021, and since then, I think we've only gotten maybe one, maybe two cases of EDP trying to return to the platform, but was taken down by YouTube once again. So it looked like EDP's internet influence was officially in the collective group of canceled creators, and he would since be a distasteful memory that we would all remember. Until 4 weeks ago. As I said at the beginning of the video, there was a channel that showed up on all of our home screens with the video titled Here We Go. And of course, like a cockroach, EDP445 was back again to defy the banishment he was given.
Like a ball
in this video,
cockroach.
Bryant stated that his channel was of many attempts to try and get back onto the YouTube platform to make videos. He even go as far as to say that it was YouTube's fault because every time he tried to upload videos on his past channel attempts, they'd all be taken down. It seems as though Bryant had forgotten why this would be happening to him. Who knows, maybe he hit his head during his hiatus or something.
Looking like love don't cost a thing, the fat friend.
I don't know. But this video did in fact not get taken down, and it seems as though his channel was in the clear. So much so that his channel even gained over 8,000 subscribers in just a week. And now, 13 videos later, we've gotten a taste of what EDP has been up to nowadays, and surprisingly, he has yet to talk about minors. So looking at his new channel and content, what do you think? Can we really get—
Nigga, I don't think nothing, bro. That nigga is a freak and he always gonna be a freak, bro. That nigga is always gonna be a pedo. I don't give a fuck what people do. They subscribe to him. What? I don't care, bro. That nigga's always gonna be a freak, bro. I don't give a damn, man. I ain't supporting that shit. This probably I'll do some videos, you know what I'm saying, to raise awareness and laugh at him. But I'm not going over there to subscribe. If you over there and you subscribe to him, you a freak too, bro. I'm for real. Like, no, you a freak. You a freak for supporting them, bro. Like, if you over there and you subscribe, you a freak ass nigga, man. Like, that's all I gotta say about it.